Good morning, and welcome to Saturday's Mindful Minutes, where we are praying the names of Jesus by Ann Spangler. And this week we are studying Son of David, or Huios Dauid. Promises associated with his name. What comes to mind when you think of a promise, a rainbow, a ring, a stump? A stump, that is precisely the image Isaiah used when he spoke of the promised Messiah. He was saying that God would fulfill his promise to David despite impossible odds. The New Testament reveals that God kept that promise when hundreds of years after David's dynasty had fallen, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. But how does this ancient prophecy apply now in a world in which the strong still dominate the weak, and the poor often have no voice? This word from Isaiah, it would seem, still awaits its completion. Even though the king has been revealed, his power is still veiled, and his kingdom often grows in ways that are hidden and obscure. As believers and members of the kingdom, we are called to wait in faith, seeking to advance the kingdom until Christ comes again, this time fully revealing his power, his justice, and his majesty. On that day, perfect judgment will bring forth perfect peace, and all God's people will worship the King, who is called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, and Prince of Peace. Promises in Scripture. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse, David's father. From his roots, a branch will bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of power, the Spirit of knowledge and of fear of the Lord. And he will delight in the fear of the Lord. He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes or decide what he hears with his ears, but with righteousness he will judge the needy. With justice he will give decisions for the poor on the earth. Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 to 4.
Isaiah 9, 6 and 7 says, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this." Continued prayer and praise for this week. Let us continue to worship the King, Matthew 1, verses 1 through to chapter 2 and verse 12. Understand that Jesus is great David's greater son, Acts 13, 21 through 39. Consider the key of David, Revelations 3, 7 through 10. And finally, remember the root of David, Revelations 5, 1 through 5, Revelations 22 and verse 16. Thank you for joining us this week for another week of Mindful Minutes. We are hoping and praying you have a blessed weekend, and we will see you at church. And next week we'll continue praying the names of Jesus with Ann Spangler. God bless.